What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a nice day today. I am having a nice day myself. This is Big Cheds coming to you live here August 12th. I just did a show last night with my good buddy at Big Jonas. Let's take a look at his profile. He does a lot of updates on YouTube, fast updates, pardon me, quick updates, and I've loved seeing him bloom as a trader and as a teacher over the last 6 months and more. Find him on Twitter at Big Jonas. He's not joined. We're not joined by him today, rather. It's just me, so you'll have to suffer through my musings. And what I usually like to do, find me obviously on Twitter at Big Cheds. What I like to do is give you guys a brief overview, and then I just like to get kind of as many requests as I can done, and just give you my general impression on it. Kind of like anything, it's muscle memory. So after you've done it so many times, I look at a chart and I can just get a really good feeling for it in just a short period of time. Kind of what the momentum, what direction it's going. And I kind of suggest everyone try to get to that point, or maybe that's just my style. That's what works for me. I'm not an advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk crypto, in charts. And, I enjoy having you folks check out the videos when I put them out. So let's get started. Looks like we have some people popping in the chat room. Happy to see you guys there. I'm going to just, let's just do Bitcoin. And we'll just do a brief overview of what's been going on. Daily chart. Clearly the bulls had, H-A-D, not H-A-V-E, have had a nice narrative with their inverted head and shoulders, where this is our head area. This is, one shoulder. This is another shoulder. And so kind of that's gone away. The bulls have lost that. We had the nice neckline break at 6,800. The measured target was 1,000 because the head was about 5,800. The neck was 6,800. You take the, let me show you rather than just talking about it before I get too technical and lose half of the viewers. I'm going to find the pattern here just so I don't sound too stupid. So look, here's the inverted head and shoulders, right? Pardon me, this is what we saw. Here's the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. You can also call this an inverted three Buddha as well, which is what the Japanese were calling this inverted three Buddha for over 100 years before in the West we started calling these head and shoulders. So whatever you want, that's the pattern. We broke the neckline. We hit our measured target of 1,000, sorry, and plus some. We went to 7,800, went even higher. We've gone back down. We had some ETF, Winklevoss ETF rejection. And then we had, was it the Van Wyck or the Van Nuys? Maybe that's I think that's a highway or something. It was a Van What's-It's-Not delay right here. So, what are we doing right now? So I guess you always kind of want to step back. That's what a daily chart's good for. You go even more weekly if you want. We have a series of, pardon me, very clear lower highs. We have a series of very clear lower lows so far, with the potential to now put in a higher low. That's what we're working on, the best case. I'm a candle close trader. I like to see, rather than use a wick for my low, a lot of great traders, especially one of the ones I look up to the most, the chart guys, he'll use the wick. I'm a candle close trader. I study Japanese candlesticks, and they believe, through their philosophy, is the real movement. It really centers around, and psychologically especially, the open and the close and the candle body. A lot of the patterns are based on the size of the body and, for whatnot. I think it's a little more conservative method. It's what I use, candle body. Pardon me. So we have a low here. We have a lower low here, another lower low. You get the picture. And now we're trying to put it in a higher low. So if we can put it in a higher low, we can start to make the argument for an equilibrium pattern where we're going to potentially come to a point, maybe right around here. If we put in a higher low, you either potentially try to break that lower high right there, or you put in another higher low first, and then maybe even another, you put in another lower high first, and then even forget it. Let me do it this way. Let's say we bottom here, that's our lower high. Then we put in a higher low there, and then maybe another lower high here. So who knows how long it takes for this pattern to potentially work out. Either way, we're clearly in a consolidation pattern. I don't know if the daily chart is really it's still technically obviously a bearish continuation pattern. We're in a predominantly bearish trend here. But if you start to put in a higher low, you can make an argument that we're at least neutral. So that's why the name of the game for bulls is trying to put in a higher low. I think it's reasonable to think that that could happen, given some of these oscillators. RSI is oversold. On-balance volume is still very weak. And I actually have a bearish divergence on the on-balance volume. Oh, it's not really bearish, it's a hidden bearish divergence. Look at the lower low on the oscillator, higher low on the price. So that's kind of the opposite of what I would want to see. So I'd still be very cautious. After all that mumbo jumbo, I'd say be cautious on Bitcoin right now, and we want to see if you can put in a higher low. A couple things I pointed out before. I tweeted out something that I thought was interesting, and I'm going to show you right here. LTC BTC, Litecoin Bitcoin ratio. I pointed out is right now the lowest it's been pretty much since December. So that might suggest to me that Litecoin might be something to look at versus Bitcoin. Litecoin's at 5,900. It used to be that 1%. So if Litecoin was at 5,900, Bitcoin would be at Litecoin's at $59 rather. Bitcoin would be at 5,900. We don't really see that. Bitcoin's at 6,300. Here's Litecoin at 59.7. So maybe there's a little room there, but we'll have to see. Just that's the LTC BTC ratio. So let's check out Litecoin chart, and then we'll check out Ethereum, and then I'll go right to the chat room. I'm going to turn off log for some reason and messes with the Litecoin daily chart. Still really weak here in the daily chart. Hard to argue that. We have some decent volume here today. How many hours left? We still have 7 hours. So it's probably still, though, going to be less volume than yesterday. But what we can take from this is a small candle body. So there's not a lot of push in either direction. More indecision. Let's zoom in a little bit. So we had a nice bounce here, dipping below the lower Bollinger. We put in almost a tweezer top that it broke, but we kind of ran into trouble here. MA20, middle Bollinger. So the 4 hours not like impressive or anything. I mean, it still looks bearish, but it's just been beat down. 1 hour is a little more interesting because we're putting in these higher lows. So we'd have to kind of watch that. For me, if that's your thesis, that you think a reversal's brewing, you really need to see, pardon me, the close remain above this level. If that's your thesis, right? Whatever your thesis is. Oh, the bottom is here, and maybe based on some of this capitulation volume. Over here, Ethereum 322. It looked like it was going to the 200s, and I tweeted it was going there. Did it make it 305? So it got pretty close. That's a 1 hour. I mean, it's hugging the lower Bollinger Band. On balance, it's just going down. Yeah, this, if not for this severe RSI, last time it really oversold, but it could still go a little lower. I mean, it took it going to like 17. I remember that. I remember Ethereum was so oversold compared to Litecoin and Bitcoin at that point, and I just told myself, oh yeah, it's a no-brainer type of trade. Could go a little lower is the point I guess I'm trying to make here. Is it looks like it could go a little lower. Maybe we could see the RSI back in those mid-teens. So you got to be careful. There's no real sign here on Ethereum yet on the daily. 1 hour, same as Litecoin. We're trying to put it in the higher low, but we have lower high as well. Lower high, or there's one, there's your lower high. So we got to kind of see what happens here. Let's be cautious on these. It's holding 6K, which is Bitcoin rather. It's holding 6K, which is important psychological support. Anyway, those are my general thoughts. Let's check out the chat room, say hi to everybody, and see what I can do to help you out. Some charts. How's everyone going? Talking about the weather, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Hi from Germany. Hello to you as well. Eugene. Thanks to Cheds and Jonas for the free TA. Can you guys hear me? Nope. Okay. Can you chart NEBL? Okay, let's take a look at NEBL. Requested by Joseph. Okay. Let me just do this real quick. Altcoin requests. I'm going to just tweet out real quick to let people know I'm taking altcoin requests now. NEBL. Yeah, look at all the bear volume. Look at these big volume candles, and there's not, like, the bulls never fight back. I don't see a lot of, fighting back, starting from this initial capitulation back on the 8th. That's a 1 hour. So, there's some capitulation here in the 1 hour. Daily chart is severely oversold, but there's no reason it's going to bounce, because if you look back to this period from June, from early mid-June to the end of June, the RSI is basically the same as it was now, and you didn't get anything out of the price. So, if you're super lucky, you might see a bounce here, but it's going to get tested and probably rejected at the middle Bollinger, the MA20, as it did, pardon me. So if it ever bounced, maybe off being oversold, you'd be wanting to look here, basically at this brown line to see potentially if there's a chance for it to just do a little bit more. You don't really get nothing here. Look at these bounces. There's not much to it. So this one is not so good right now, to put it very technically. Let's check out the chat here. ETC, Topher Dowling. We'll do ETC for you. Ethereum classic, buy the rumor, sell the news, in my opinion, because this was the Coinbase listing. You put in a nasty, kind of a shooting star, but I wouldn't really call this a shooting star. For me, this is a dark cloud cover. So what is a dark cloud cover? Hopefully here we go. This is a dark cloud cover. Now, since we don't have the gaps with crypto, it's essentially, it's the opposite of a bullish piercing pattern, when you kind of close below the midpoint of that prior green candle. It's a bearish reversal combo, those two candle combo, with the predominant, this would have been textbook, the predominant volume behind that second candle. That would have been a big signal. So on that close, and then especially on the confirmation, which would have been the close below this low of day, you would have already lost a bunch. But if you were following a strict protocol, you could have either gotten out on this close or on this close. Now, it might have kind of bounced and retested that resistance. Now that this was dark cloud cover, this would have been really heavy resistance at 27. It didn't do that, but there's some pretty good warning signs, and we're still within the sell-off. So daily chart. So here's today. This is interesting. We're putting in a true doji here with no difference between the open and the close. Arguably high wave with the candle with long upper and lower shadow compared to the non-existent body size, at least. And so that would suggest there's some reduction in the prior force. You have 2 out of the last 4 candles with a small body or no body. So that's suggestive. You might be finding some support. It would coincide with the support here. This prior resistance, right? Once resistance is broken, it becomes support. So logically, this should be a support area right around here. Actually, it doesn't surprise me that this is finding a little bit of a bottom, but we're still selling off here on balance volume. Yeah, I would watch it. If you were if you had sold up here and you were smart, it would be okay maybe to start to scale in here 25% and kind of see what it does. You want to see how it handles support. We're at daily. Let's see how the 4 hour looks though. Yeah. Look at that. It's finding a little bottom there for now. So you gotta monitor that. I did Ethereum. ZIL. Is that even ZIL? BTC. Okay, ZIL. This is for Matt. And absolutely. Thank you for calling me sir. Some people don't like that, when I'm going to the market or wherever, somewhere, and I hand money to a cashier, or I pay for something and I say thank you, sir, and they're like, don't call me sir, makes me feel old. Anyway, so ZIL, is clearly in a downtrend. That's the 4-hour. Yep. I mean, it looks very weak. You have bullish divergence in the stochastic. So of these three indicators, if I could rank bullish divergence, it's going to be weakest in the stochastic because it's a whipsaw. I mean, it goes up and down a lot faster than the RSI. This is more of a short to medium, really a short-term channel indicator. For me, this is your medium, potentially long-term channel indicator. Channel meaning overbought or oversold, with the theory that the price will kind of oscillate between those two conditions. And just weak on bounce volume. Just in the 4-hour, I quickly caught that it really can't break, and well, it broke it and hold it, but having trouble really with this 8-period exponential moving average. So I would kind of keep an eye on that if you're really watching for a bottom. But as of right now, there are no signs of a bottom on this one. ARK, BTC, and again, I try to give you my quick opinion and not go into too much detail so I can get as many of these done for you guys, because I remember being in the other shoe, many years ago, or even now, when I want to ask someone I trust what their opinion is on something. I really, when I hear it, it gives me a little more information. I like that. So we're going to look at ARK on the daily chart. It's also pretty weak, and we're getting potentially a crossing sell signal, stochastics RSI. The candles here aren't bad. That's the thing, because you're in a box. You're trading in a horizontal range here, so that's not bad. But I think you lost. This is the support you would have wanted to hold. So you actually closed below that, which was the close of 8.2. So this is almost like inching lower, but it's flattened out. I don't think we've ever really flattened out like this in this downtrend, going back, since last year. Wow, last September. So yeah, this one is the first, at least, really sideways. We have to watch it. Little tiny bullish divergence in the RSI, but it's early. So this one actually would be worth, this is like one of those put on your watch list kind of plays, in my opinion. TEL, T-E-L, TEL BTC. Is this one of the ones that keeps spamming my comments? I don't like those ones. All right, let's keep going. Apologize, I don't see TEL. DIG, I've never heard of that. Is that a real, is this, you coming at me with some stuff here? DIG. Okay, I don't know what that is either. Apologize. The real Matthews, yeah, I don't know what either of those are. Travis Beck, TRX. TRX is still incredibly weak. Tiny bit of bullish divergence, but it is very weak. We're hugging the lower Bollinger Band. Rejected here, middle Bollinger, MA20. The bulls are very passive here. Let's kind of zoom out. So, I mean, it's not, if you've been in, it's not that bad. If you got in back in like December, you're still okay. But what's interesting, so this is a really key area here. This area right there. I don't know why it's drawing it all weird, but that's the point I'm making to you, my friends. I'm just going to put this big old sticker right there. So this is kind of the area I'm talking about. That was really, there's a lot of volume there. And although not quite a bit, we're actually underwater. You look at the volume profile, we're under where the majority of TRX volume has transacted on a Satoshi range, Satoshi basis, since, wow, yeah, pretty much since almost a year, little 9 months. But in any case, as I ramble on, this is an important area. Bulls really want to maintain candle close basis above this area. So doing that, I've established what's an important level. So that means I'm watching this. We got to find a bottom soon. It would be very important if TRX could find a bottom right around that 330 range. It would actually might be interesting to me if it was able to find a bottom in like 315 to 330, and maybe the unbalanced volume would level off. So I'd put this one on the watch list. I'd put it on the watch list, but clearly it's a terrible chart right now. Let's go down the list. LBC, Long Beach Community, very weak. Very weak, looking for a bottom. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. It broke important support from last December. So I mean, this thing is let's go back, log mode back on actually. So it broke it from December, and woo, right here. This is wow, January of 17. We're basically testing that key support, and it's probably gonna break. Yeah, it's probably gonna break. So this one is I would not be, if you're in it. I mean, God bless you, but I wouldn't be trying to get in it, in my view. I've done that. Bat for Edward. Edward for Bat. And I'll just do one each because there looks like there's a bunch of requests. So BAT, I like Bat. The chart is mixed right here because you kind of have a double top. But I think it's got a good shot. It's got use of like what, the browser? I mean, that puts them in the top like 1 or 2%, I think, of all the altcoins just by having their functionality. And you know, there's some smart people I know who like it, so I have a generally favorable opinion of it. This is a very important support. So if you look back, we formed a Morningstar reversal with a nice hammer, which kind of gives the pattern more significance. Wasn't a ton of volume behind it, so it's like meh. But the candles do look nice. June 13th. I'm gonna pull back. I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you listen to my regular shows, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. What Morningstar? It's a Morningstar. And again, we don't have gaps in crypto. It's a 3-candle pattern. So we put in a nice Morningstar reversal with the hammer, which in itself would be a signal, and dipping below the lower Bollinger Band. So it's like a convergence of bullish signals there. That's the level you want to hold. So even if this is downtrending for the next few months, I'm not saying it is, even if it's going to, you could conceivably hold support here and then bounce and very easily retest this high. I'll bring that down. It's not where I wanted to put it. Right about there. You very easily retest that high at like 45. So I can envision a trade from like 31 to 45 over, you know, potentially, if it holds here. So I would definitely put this one on the watch list. You know, short term. I've already done one. So Edward, I did one of your 3. OST for Alons, ALONS. This has just been decimated, OST. And that's a crazy spike. Look at this pump spike. It had a couple before. What did it have? Like a pump this daily. We had a pump in early July, and then we had the pump in middle July. But the volume on this pump, forget about it. And look at that range too. It went from open in this candle 627. I mean, are you kidding me? This went up 200% in this on this day. I mean, it would be interesting just to look at this a little closer for fun. Yeah. And then, I mean, what did I talk about before? Dark cloud cover. Is it dark cloud cover? Nope, didn't close below. That was kind of a piercing pattern. Or, yeah, it's call it a dark cloud cover. But the volume behind it, or you can call it a harami. I guess if it's not a dark cloud cover, but it's not. It's too big a real body to be a harami. Just the volume on this just kind of really decimates this first candle. This candle had more oomph, and it really should have bounced on the midpoint of this green candle, but the volume in this candle just kind of was like, see you later. So that, let's go closer. Oh, forget about it. If you're watching this in the 1-hour chart, there's a lot. Look at that. Gravestone doji, even with the small body, you could argue, and the small lower wick, you can argue gravestone doji. You can make an argument. This is why I think it's nice that we all have, it's creative. You can do whatever you want, I think, within reason. You could argue a shooting star. Both are bearish candlesticks. And, I mean, look at these upper wicks. Now, it kind of teased you a little bit. You broke this high on this hourly one. But anyway, there were some signals here. You know, boom, 1, 2, 3. You know, especially here when you broke, when you closed, especially closing below, but even breaking below this low, 1466. It was like, all right, take profit or get out. Let's say you had FOMO'd in somewhere in the middle. I mean, you would be reticent. You would just be reckless to not trim some on the break of this low when that happened. So that's just, guys, that should be interesting to some of you. All right. NEO for quality control. And let's zoom out. Look at this series of Bollinger squeezes. Why am I so far out? Oh. So it's been steady volume. Look at all this volume we had here on this bottom. We're not seeing bottom type volume or capitulation volume, even though the RSI is oversold. Like, I'm not seeing capitulation volume yet. And this is just, I would be very careful with this. You see where it is. It's actually kind of almost mirroring Bitcoin a little bit, except you're missing the right shoulder. Or yeah, right shoulder. This one could very easily go down to like 2,000. Yeah, this one could. It will probably find a bottom anywhere between here and 2,000 satoshis, and it's at 2,900 right now. So Neo, we've done OST. Someone asked, I skipped SYS homie. What's SYS homie? Oh, SYS. Let's do SYS for DJ Rex1. SYS, you were trying to see a higher low, and then you lost it right here. Here was your higher low. Early August, you lost it. You closed below. Divergence, not really impressing me yet because it's just RSI. I'm not seeing it with the on-balance volume, and there's no buff. Where's the bull volume? You know, where the bull's at, right? Nice pump here, but it was clearly a P&D. Look at that huge upper wick. You know, bearish harami. Kind of a shooting star. Fall through. So this one, whoa, you had a clear signal right here. Ooh. So if you were being careful, if you were actually paying attention, say you were a hodler, but you actually like cared about charts and you wanted to not lose all your money, you would have had this support drawn up after it's really fallen down. Where's it going to find support? And this would have been your last ditch candle close. Because look where it kind of almost found support here. So you had like 2 weeks, and then when it broke it, when it closed below it, right, came back up, was rejected. I mean, forget about it. Okay, so if you were still holding on this break, I mean, come on, you know, with all due respect. ZRX for game data for ZRX. Looks like just a few more, and then I will wrap it up, my friends. I like ZRX. So it's equilibrium pattern. On the daily, we have our high. You have our higher low. Sorry, lower high, lower high, lower high, low, and looks like shared higher low here. And so this pattern could be deciding itself pretty soon. I'm going to remove all those and show you. So this actually, in the next, this is a daily chart. I could see this thing in the next few days. Like this is very close to making a decision. They're really, I mean, it could go either way. I mean, look at the volume. There's mixed bull and buy volume. You know, really nice higher lows in the chart. Even if it fails here, then we start to watch this level would be a very important level. So let's say it fails. I'm not saying it will. Let's say it fails to break out. 12.5 looks like solid support. Then you'd watch this right here, this second level. So let's say it failed that. Even if, as long as it holds this level, which is 10.2, chart still would look really good on a daily chart. So it could even, we're at what, 13.7? It's crazy. You could fall 13.7 to 10.2 and still look really good. And then even if it fails there, it could drop to whatever, 53. And let's say it held a higher low at 68, it would still look decent. So it's like, you know, this thing is in a good position. We just have to kind of see what follows. A lot of the Coinbase 6, the 6 that were, you know, suggested to go on Coinbase, and now Ethereum Classics there, or at least transferring money. A lot of those had a nice little run up here, but it's just been alt bleed season. I think ZRX has held up better than others, and it's number 22 on CoinMarketCap. When I first started talking about it, it was around 55 or number 60. So I'm very pleased with the progress. Let's just finish up here. Dash for Simon K.I. Dash. Isn't that like a superhero name? Maybe in like a kid's cartoon. Dash. I don't have it. Let's see if I have it on trading. Okay. Let's go to Binance for Dash. I'm just going to take a drink of water. One moment, please. All right, let's take a look at Dash. Pretty weak. Pretty weak. I mean, it's unable to break any of this exponential resistance. I use the 8 and the 34 right here. Unable to break it. It's having trouble with the 8. It broke it a little bit here. Can't hold it. RSI is oversold, a little bit divergence, but let's remove log mode and see if I can look back here. So yeah, this one is one of those who knows where the bottom is. Your guess is as good as mine. So what is next? Let's see here. What is next? VET. VET. Adam Bunch is looking for VET. Something wrong with your cat? Oh, the chart. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, what am I looking at here? VET. I mean, you can't look at this and say, see, it looks like a bowling ball being rolled down a hill. I mean, this one looks terrible. So I would steer clear for a while. I mean, daily we have what, 20 candles. Hourly, you know, continued support break. Although it's closing, maintain this close right here at 144. Close at look at that, 144, 144. Well, that's really interesting. 1, 2, 3 quad bottom on the candle close at 144. But there's like, where's the buy pressure? This looks, I mean, I mean, maybe it could bounce here and you get like a little bit out of it, but this is just like, I mean, I don't know why you'd even, you know, who knows? My feelings in that one are pretty clear. I've done ZRX. XEM for Chaka. XEM. So we're trying to form a bullish harami, but the volume on the second candle's low, so it would be a weak signal. Kind of like we had here, almost a harami cross. Actually, there's better volume here. This is arguably a harami cross, pardon me, which is more powerful. I'm just going to cough one moment. Which is more powerful than bearish harami. I'm sorry, bullish harami. And the volume was good here, but that failed. So this is a sign. Like, this was a nice potential bottom setting up here a few days ago, and that just failed. So that should tell you something. This one is just downtrending. And this needs to find some more support. It might need to go to like 1278. So, wow, 1278? Did I see that right? Close. Yeah. Wow. I mean, so this one could definitely go a lot lower. So I'd be careful. It looks better than some of the really bad ones, but this could definitely go lower. IoT or is it IOST? Is that IoT? Is it IOTA? Okay. BTC. I think I have it listed here. I don't. Thank you. IoT for Henrik Etievon. Is that French or something else? IoT. IOTA. Man. Well, maybe, okay, you're getting some bottom type volume potentially, some capitulation volume. Near at a key level. Look at this, was the resistance back in last October. So this is an area of interest, I would say. Stochastics, double bottom RSI. This is actually worth a watch list. I would say you could put this one on the watch list. So that one looks pretty decent. Let's see here. Zill, I did that one. Ada for sun-dried potatoes. That's your name or your favorite dish to make when you go to potluck? ADA. What do we think here? Let's zoom in a little bit. I mean, it lost. It lost this. This is important support. 1800, 1900. Now it's resistance. I mean, there's no two ways about it, right? It's clearly resistance right now. So, I mean, there's no argument that it's bearish until it can at least break this resistance. Candle close, 1900. You know, RSI divergence doesn't impress me yet because the on-balance volume is still falling. You know, Big Jonas and I have talked about this forever. I mean, this could very easily be going to 1200. Very, very easily. I don't think it would go down lower, but I guess it really depends. If alts bleed for a while, it's possible. So short term, if this can't break above 1888. I can see it going lower quite a bit, even with the pending Coinbase. Have I done XLM? I don't think so. So we'll do XLM for mid, MD Modine, and Hat Trick. XLM. If 3 of you requested XLM in a row, that would have been a hat trick. There's only 2 of you. XLM. I have a bunch of old lines. I guess that's important areas. So high or low. So what you always want to look for is what's going on. Lower high, lower high, lower high. So although I think chart man Dan might argue this is kind of the same high. He's right. Maybe there wasn't enough of a downtrend in between. But clearly you have a lower high. So this one could be deciding. This looks like more consolidation. So this one looks to me like it's going to go sideways for a little while. Wait for a Bollinger pinch. So you see how the Bollinger bands are pretty wide right now. See right here? Right here, the Bollinger started to pinch a little bit. And then we made that move. So this needs some time. Nice buy volume. There's some good solid buy volume here. Overall, this is still pretty darn decent chart. Low, boom, higher low. So in the macro, pretty much bulls have to continue to hold 2,900. Like macros, bulls got to hold that in the long run. Pardon me. Even if it kind of, like if this breaks out of this consolidation bearish, and like say 2,900, 2,945 doesn't hold, then we're talking about 2,600, and if that breaks, who knows? So bulls are in a pretty good position right now, but that can change. Frank, hey, what's up? He says, yo, what up? What's up, Frank? Juan, I did Juan in the beginning. EOS bro. Did I do EOS bro? Or I know I did ETC. So EOS bro for blue _72. Yeah, oof. I must have this marked. Either I probably just did this. And I'm, I don't even remember. It was 20 minutes ago. But yeah, it's getting rejected middle Bollinger. EOS is bearish. Watch that middle Bollinger for any kind of strength bounce. And that is it. BNB chart. BNB chart. I'll do a couple more, folks. Just 2 or 3 more. I don't want to try your patience too much. So I tweeted about BNB looking bearish right here after you kind of had this rising wedge in the RSI that broke. You have kind of a hanging man candle, and that has been resistance ever since. Then you get 2 hanging men. So first hanging man here in the 5th, another one the 7th. So BNB looked bearish short term, but it's still holding higher low. And like with Bitcoin, who knows? So this is like, because Bitcoin's at 6K support. Bitcoin holds 6K and reverses, BNB will come down. It's been a hedge. But if Bitcoin goes lower and tests, 5,500, BNB will probably come up and test, 26, which is at 18. It's a big jump. It would certainly go up to like, 22.4. So if Bitcoin starts to go lower, BNB, in my opinion, strong probability would hit like 22. Those are my 2 cents in that. I've done EOS. Miron, I will not do Bcash because they're so shady. I feel like everything they do is trying to like trick people and fool them into like buying the wrong Bitcoin, or just if you follow, it just I'm very objective. I'm very fair, and it just seems so. I just can't do it. I can't chart. Bitcoin Cash. So I very much do apologize for that. If they were more honest with their marketing and just kind of let the best technology win, then fine, I'd have no problem doing it. I will do IOST though for Sheree Sharma. IOST is pretty weak. Woo, we gave up all. That was a beautiful candle with nice volume behind it, and I would have said, look at this, inside candle, bearish inside candle, but weak volume. I would have said, look, there's very little selling, and it's probably going to bounce here. And no, forget about it. So, I mean, and it broke the low of this candle, 292. Yeah, so That's unfortunate. That was a big time bull trap back in late July. So what's it doing now? Clearly, this is a very, very, very VERY. Very important. Support zone to hold. We're close to it. I would call this an area of interest, an area of logical support, 200 Satoshis, 205. So I'd put this one on the watch list, actually. Watch list, and just to kind of see how it develops. UKG BTC, I've never heard of that one. UKG, it probably exists though. Unicorn, I don't know what this stuff is. I mean, God bless you if you can make money off some of these. So, I mean, this has a very, very interesting hammer here. Almost a long-legged doji, but you've got a pretty good-sized real body. I don't know why there's such a dip. That's a crazy weird dip. I don't know if there's like a fat finger where there's a weird print that the market makers or the exchange just executes a trade like a non-retail trade, and it will paint the chart. So you got to be careful. That's messing with some of these oscillators. So if you ignore this wick, which I think you can ignore most of it, it's still pretty bearish. Except that the on-balance volume is pretty darn good here, and you have a bullish divergence. So, but you have no logical support. 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, it's a bearish continuation pattern, bearish pennant or a bear flag. Yeah, this looks pretty bearish to me. That's, my apologies, but unicorn, it doesn't seem like a unicorn right now. Are there any more? CV, Nano. I'll do Nano. Rail blocks. Having trouble with the 8 EMA. Oversold. No real sign of strength. Nano is still in trouble, my friends. There's really not much more to say about Nano. Other than it looks weak right now. This was once heralded as, this was a unicorn. People were talking about this one, XRB. It was like $2, and then it was $35. And, I don't know what the USD equivalent is right now, but it's much, much, much lower. I'll do the last one is POE, and I'm going back to Bitcoin. This is for Adrarsh Thakur, Tupac Shakur's brother, apparently. PO looks pretty weak. On balance volume stays pretty good. So this one, I think I always talk about how you never know when it's going to have a little pump again. I mean, look at this pump. So, but it's slowly bleeding. Slow bleed. Pretty well-defined downtrend on the RSI. So, I mean, this one should be easy to see when there's a change in this trend. I mean, pretty much. I mean, forget about it, right? So once you start to break this RSI downtrend, you can start to look for other clues, maybe a candle pattern. On balance volume is good. Where are we in terms of historical? So right here, okay. So I'd be looking this area back December last year, high, close, 206. We already broke that, unfortunately. So, I mean, we're getting low. I mean, 163. I mean, I don't know, but the benefit is if you can find a little floor, it's easy to make a nice percentage gain off of this one. It's still pretty weak, but I actually would keep this one. I would keep this one on the watch list. Hopefully, I got to your requests. I got to at least 99% of them. I'm going to just finish up here with our good buddy Bitcoin daily chart. We're trying to form, so high wave candle yesterday. We're trying to form a 3 outside up. I'm just going to see if I have that to show you somewhere here. There we go, outside up. So we're trying to form a 3 outside up right here. Sorry, 3 inside up. Sorry, 3 inside up. We're trying to form a 3 inside up. With what would be a tweezer bottom as well, bullish and a bullish harami. And the volume is actually pretty darn good. So from a daily standpoint, this is pretty good, but this wouldn't be confirmed, in my opinion, my method, until you have a candle close above 64.85. So if you do that, then you have your higher low. I think it's actually safe to continue to scale in or to start to scale in. I gave on Twitter a shields up call at 7K when the, that's right here, at 7K on the delay news, because I just figured the market would shake. We're back at the, right shoulder, logical support. That's what we're looking at. So I just wanted to thank you guys for showing up. Obviously, I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. Although he didn't join me today, I would definitely highly recommend a good friend of mine, Big Chonas, to follow him on Twitter. I know he's also doing some mentoring and one-on-one stuff. So if you like that, I know a lot of you guys like his voice a lot better than mine. I've heard people say, "Shut up, Cheds. Let Chonas talk." And so if you're one of those people, you can find my man on Twitter at Big Chonas. He's got his DMs open. He does a lot of one-on-one coaching, and I think that's where he really shines. So find him on Twitter at Big Chonas. If you're interested in what I'm working on, I am very proud to be part of Bitcoin Live, which is the best in-class educational platform for crypto. For many, many years, people asked me when I was going to do my own premium service. Why don't I have a premium feed? And I've always been all about the people, and you know that about me. Because when I started, I was getting crushed, and I had a couple really nice, smart people take time and work with me, and that fueled a desire in me to learn. Here I am now trying to pass that back on. So I've always been free, but when I saw this project, I felt like this was an opportunity to reach some different people and really make an impact. Because if you look at who I'm working with, it's really kind of an all-star lineup in this space. So if you're interested in any of these other teachers and even me as well, analysts, we have webinars on YouTube that talks about what we do, and we put together some really amazing content for you, alerts, long-form articles, teaching, trading psychology. It's a great community, and if you guys have any questions, obviously we support the Bitcoin community. That's the BTC, the real Bitcoin, just Bitcoin community. And if you have any questions, we have a new quarterly, right, as well as a new monthly option for Bitcoin Live if you want to try it out. So that's exciting. I'm very proud of this project. I'm very proud of being involved in it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any point. And with that, I'm going to thank you once again. Hopefully, I'll be able to do another show for you soon. But until then, I hope this show has helped you. And I just appreciate your viewership. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.